There's a few little tips here and advice on changing a staple head on a Plockmatic 60 or an OC booklet maker, or if you've got any issues or changing the head completely. There's two different versions. As you can see on this one, we have two anvils and that plate that holds the head in a fixed position. There's another version, is this that we see here. We have more anvils and the staple heads can move. We don't have the blocking plate there, so you can move the heads. Process for changing or fixing the heads will be exactly the same. If you have a bit of an issue with one of the staple heads, there's a couple of things you can do. Firstly, just simply slide off the holding bracket. If I've got a piece of paper, we can just manually test with the power off. We can manually test the stapling. If you have an issue whereby they're crumpling like this, or concertina in one of the staple legs, there's a couple of things it can be. It can either be out of line with the anvil below, and one way to fix that, on this particular model we've got the holding bracket that you can undo. You can then undo the lock screw and we can go left or right, just maybe a millimetre or two, to reposition, and we can try again to make sure that we've got correct stapling. Another thing that can go wrong if you continually get one leg to concertina or crumple up, what can be happening is you've got excess play, side wiggle, and a way of fixing that is undoing the lock nut here. Lift the staple head back till we can see there. You can see the staple head moving up and down. What you can do, if there's excess sideways play, a pair of pliers, the two upright bars there you can see, hope you can see on the film, we can just pinch that slightly so when it goes in we don't have any sideways float. Whilst I've got it to this position, if you are replacing the staple head, on this one we can see the two screws there that hold it on and a little pin locating. You can see they're in slots, and if you're going to do any adjustment, a little tip is to put a little scribe mark on both sides before you do any adjustments, so you know where you were to start with. The forwards and backwards will correspond when we go back here. If I just lock this up over the staple head. Forwards and backwards is going to move the staple head in or out. So the staple, if it's going in at an angle like so, or an angle like so, we need to adjust the head one way or other, so we're going over the anvil. That is with those. On some models, in true Blue Peter style, I have another head here that's off the machine. So you can see the action there going over the bracket. And this one has the newer style Torx bolts. It'll either have the older style or the Torx. It could have, however. Just while we're talking about staple heads though, and as I have this one here, what is a common problem on them is the staple drawer gets stuck and it won't come out. It slides out, or the plunger that we can just see there is stuck down, and then you can't open the staple drawer. People tend to get screwdrivers in and things like that to jam them up. You have to pull the plunger out like so, or if it's on the machine, literally lift the plunger up so you can get a little finger's gap in there. You should then be able to open the drawer. If it's damaged though, it's basically replacing the staple head. They're fairly easy to change. So once we've got it over the staple head there, we can do a couple more tests. Yes, we have good stapling, so we can bring that back into line there. Staple heads are available from our website at chilvers.co.uk. There's two different versions, the one we have here with no staple detector on the side, or the ones, as you can see here, you can buy it with the staple detector. One other last point is always remember to use the correct staples, 66 6s, 66 8+, designed for electric staplers. Please don't use cheap office staples. They're not designed to be used in electric staplers. Again, available off the website in boxes of 5,000.